Meanwhile, for Nissan, a tyre gamble gone wrong. Michael Krum called in. And Satoshi Motoyama, the 2001 Formula Nissan single-seater champion, sent back out. Jeremy Dufour in the 39 Toyota Supra, passing German driver Dominik Schwager for third. And then 40 laps in, Ralf Fährmann heads into the pits, handing over to Matsuda. So, Satoru Nakajima's team running the Mobil 1 car. It goes back into the lead. Sebastian Philippe had just been passed by Jeremy Dufour before coming into the pits. Quick pit fire, and out goes Richard Lyons for his first Japanese GT start. And just a little too quick on the cold tyres. Disaster narrowly avoided in the backmarker traffic. Jeremy Dufour, meanwhile, out front for the duration of the pit stops until he heads in. But you can see how close that escape was for Richard Lyons. Dufour in the 39 car, Dominik Schwager in 16. And Jeremy Dufour brings the car in. His teammate for the season, Manabu Orido, in the Saad Toyota team's car. In comes the 23 car. This is the second of the Nismo Nissans. Masami Kageyama sharing with 98-99 champion Eric Comas. But for them, third place momentarily during the pit stops. Matsuda still leads in the NSX. Way back is the Saad Toyota. Jeremy Dufour's teammate Orida driving. Lyons following him closely in the number 18 NSX. Reigning champions Hinori Takeuchi and Yuji Tachikawa only managing to claim fourth place at that stage. There is the Mugen Dome Honda NSX, Sebastian Philippe and Richard Lyons car. Lyons now fully in the groove. And the Mugen Dome team running two cars. This one and one for Ryo Michigami and Daisuke Ito. Behind Lyons, pressing on, Tachikawa. And another Toyota, the Esso Team Le Mans car, Yuichi Wakisaka and Akira Aida. Another very strong lineup in that car. Richard Lyons now has reeled in the Saad Toyota of Manabu Orido, looking to find a way past in the slower traffic. As ever, the Japanese GT Championship split into GT 500 and GT 300 cars. Roughly speaking, that's their power output. The 500s tend to be the NSXs, the Toyota Supras and the Skylines. And Lyons again dicing with death, or disaster at least, as he kicks a wheel up in the dirt. But at the end, the checkered flag, as Ralf Fährmann applauds his teammate across the line for the Nakajima team. Sugio Matsuda taking the flag, and Satoru Nakajima as happy as you can imagine. One race down, one win for them. Second place, Sebastian Philippe and Richard Lyons in the number 18 car after a dramatic second stint from Lyons. And in third place, the number 39 Toyota Saad car, Jeremy Dufour and Manabu Orido.
How good does that feel?
Yeah, it's great. First GT race of the year. It's great to win that as well, so looking forward to the rest of the season.
That's your first win as well?
First win in GT, so it's a double celebration.
A little notch in the belt, isn't it?
Yeah, it's nice. It's always nice to win in every championship we do.
Well, Fährmann, like many of the Europeans, many of the Japanese drivers also racing in Formula Nippon. They move on at the beginning of May to Fuji, and a pole position for Toyota in Honda's own backyard. This is bad news indeed for the Hondas. Yuichi Wakisaka claiming pole with the Team Le Mans car, the blue number 6 machine. The reigning champions, Takeuchi and Yachikawa, in the number 1 car right behind. And getting a very good start indeed, the McLaren of Naoki Hattori and Eiichi Tajima, the yellow corn McLaren GTR. On the long straights of Fuji, it was outpaced and outrun, but here, beg your pardon, on the long straights of Fuji, it's got the pace to run well. Further back, trouble for the number 1 car. For the Mobil 1 car, Ralph Furman's car out of the race early on. They get the green flag again. And again, the Toyotas leading. And it's here that the Honda NSXs really struggle. The near mile-long straight means that their normally aspirated engines can't quite cope with the turbo speed, particularly of the Toyotas here. Nissan still struggling with the old 2001 car. And the battle between the pole position man, Wakisaka, and Takeuchi in the number 1 car, who started alongside. Takeuchi finally getting the move down the inside line into turn 1. Meanwhile, the McLaren being drafted down the straight. And again, the turbo power of the Toyota just pulling them past. The NSX is already struggling. And that struggle will continue throughout the race. Jeremy Dufour dramatically blowing a rear tyre, and will have to complete another lap before he can head to the pits as the yellow flags come out.
Japan GT with Nissan and Toyota.
Round 2 of the Japanese GT Championship at Fuji, and the race being led by the number 1 car of Hironori Takeuchi and Yuichi Tachikawa. They had taken the lead from the pole position starters Yuichi Wakisaka and Akira Aida, but under pressure from the McLaren, the 76 car, Naoki Hattori, who shares it with Eiichi Tajima, and the yellow corn McLaren around the twisty infield section. Really very much a match for the Toyota. Uses its superb chassis balance to dive around the outside and then hold the inside line and to take the lead. And as the shocked Takeuchi recovers from that blow, he loses second place as well to the flying Wakisaka. Both men struggling to stay with the McLaren through those twisty turns, and the battle for second place now becomes an all Toyota one. But before too long, the McLaren driver pushes his luck a fraction too far, and as Hattori struggles to avoid the gravel and then heads for the pits with a puncture, the lead is taken by the turbo cars. However, it's a black flag for Wakisaka's Team Toyota Le Mans car, as into the pits comes race leader Takeuchi to hand over to Yachikawa. And the reigning champions back in front as they get the green once more in a race that has strewn with yellow flags. Wakisaka and Aida penalised for hazardous driving in the pit lane, and that cost them dear. Well, plenty of safety car worries for everybody during this race, but when the racing is clean and fast, again, plenty of action. The number 8 car is Keiichi Tsuchiya and Katsumoto Kanaishi. And again, the yellow corn McLaren looking very strong, following Sebastian Philippe and Richard Lyon's car through there. The NSXs and the McLarens very evenly balanced, it seems, in terms of grip and handling. But it's the power of the Toyotas here that really makes the difference to the race. This is lap 89. And Tachikawa battling for second place around the outside. Now 2 laps later, passing Ryo Michigami and Daisuke Ito to claim the lead of the race. But by lap 107, the delayed number 6 car moving up into 3rd spot. Wakisaka struggling on the penultimate lap for second place. And with the tow and the turbo power wound up full boost on the straight, the Honda really desperately hanging on the inside line. Akira Aida in the number 6 machine, pouring on the power, and finally manages to squeeze his nose in front. But can he stay there as they go through the slower GT300s? Out front, Takeuchi and Tachikawa take the checkered flag, and this is Tachikawa, incredibly his first ever Japanese GT victory. The reigning champion did not win a race last year. Round 3, end of May at Sugo. Keiichi on pole, Tsuchiya second spot, Ralph Furman third. So it's Ralph Furman trying desperately to fight his way back in, the winner of the opening race, on board here with the number 23 Nissan. That was Eric Comas starting the race in the 23 car. But problems early on for number 8, puncture for Tsuchiya in the Arta NSX. Well, he was the early leader, but picked up that puncture. Jeremy Dufour battling to work his way up the order. Toyota streams past. Seiji Ara takes 3rd place. And Wayne Gardner waiting in the pits for the 36 Toyota Team Tom's Castrol-coloured car of Takeshi Tsuchiya. Very busy pit lane at Sugo. Pit stops, the leaders coming in after lap 37. And it's a late stop for Tsuchiya. Powering round while everybody else is in the pits. And as he hands over the car, Wayne Gardner takes the lead. Mitsusada dropping the Mooncraft Raybrig NSX off the road. And that was out of 2nd place. Again finding the pace, the Toyota Team Le Mans Esso car. Wakisaka and Aida moving up to 4th place. And the safety car scrambled for a slower GT300 car. Race being led then by Wayne Gardner. 2nd place, Richard Lyons in the Dome NSX.
The Japan GT with Nissan and Toyota.
Continuing with our coverage of the Japanese GT Championship, Wayne Gardner leading the race, round 3 at Sugo. 2nd place as the safety car pulls in, the Team Toyota Esso Le Mans car, Wakisaka and Akira Aida doing the 2nd stint. But Gardner soon in trouble with the officials. He is black flagged because he didn't stop at the end of the pit lane when the red light said he should have done. So as Gardner comes in to serve his penalty, again the number 6 car finds itself out front. Wakisaka and Aida. They were 2nd from pole position at Fuji the previous race, now out front. 3rd place and going very strongly, Takeshi Tsuchiya's car, the Shinichi Yamaji Seiji Ara driven car. They move up to 2nd spot after Gardner is dropped down. So Wakisaka the winner as as they then head to the sweltering heat of Sepang. And it's once more pole position for Furman and Matsuda. Into the first corner, Philippe Lyons Richard Lyons is tangled up with Hiroki Kato, the former Paynos driver. A monster lockup for one of the GT300 cars. Into the gravel he goes, and out comes the safety car. Once more, the Mobil 1 Nakajima Honda leads them away, but plenty of battling further back. That's Eric Comas on the right-hand side of the picture, trying to squeeze Keiichi Tsuchiya in the number 8 car. And in the end, Tsuchiya goes off, exiting the first corner. Well, no problems for Ralph Furman, but some of his main rivals, that battle for third place, putting the cars off the road. He has an 11-second advantage over Takeshi Tsuchiya. Into the pits comes the Toyota Team Tsurumo Supra, Takeuchi and Tachikawa, but it's too early in the race for a driver change, so they have got a problem on their hands, and they've got a problem with the left front wheel as well. Eric Comas trying to compensate for his earlier delay as the leaders manage a slick pit stop. Matsuda heading back out into the lead that Ralph Furman had built up. Well, they are one of the earlier stoppers. So in front is Wayne Gardner's car. And Takeshi Tsuchiya brings it in to hand over to the Aussie, former bike ace. And he dives back onto the track. By the time we join Gardner on board, he is in second place. At least for the moment. Gardner struggles to recover, doesn't lose a place. Now battling with the Hondas. Again on board with Gardner. Nissan Skyline in front. It's the 23 car of Masami Kageyama and Eric Comas. And this time Gardner squeezes down the inside with no ill effects. And he's being followed by Ryo Michigami and Daisuke Ito in the red, black and white Honda NSX. Gardner makes good his escape as the Honda also squeezes past the Nissan. Nissan desperately waiting for the arrival of the new V6 engine 2002 car. Hoping it will turn their fortunes around, and they need to, because they seem to have some kind of accident magnets attached to the car at the moment. Kageyama gets thumped up the backside by the Zenz team, Takuya Kurosawa and Paolo Montin. It's Montin that does the damage. Well, they were punted off at the first corner in round 2 at Fuji. Didn't score strongly at Sugo, but it's victory, fastest lap, and pole position at Aida for Furman and Matsuda, and looking very much like the same on offer here at Sepang. The full complement of points, 20 for the win, plus the extra points for fastest race lap and pole position, go again to Matsuda and Ralph Furman, and they move back into the championship lead, where they are the first two-time winners. But again, at the end of July, back at Fuji, that power-sapping straight is enough to leave them down the order. The reigning champions, Takeuchi and Tachikawa, on pole. Seiji Ara and Yamaji's car, second spot. Michael Krummer Motoyama's Nissan in third place. Well, the other car of Eric Comas, as Nissan debut their 2 new cars, is down with problems in qualifying, 11th position. And in the early going, the Nissans seem to be able to run with most of the cars except for the front-running pair. Takeuchi and Tachikawa's car, very strong indeed. But the Nissan battling with the rest of the Toyotas. Motoyama chasing the 36 car. Takeshi Tsuchiya in the Castrol Toyota as we ride on board in the heat of the battle. This is for 3rd place. Fuji, a racetrack of real compromises, an enormously long straight under the shadow of Mount Fuji, almost a mile of high-speed, low-downforce running, and then the rest of it, twisty-turny sections, pretty technical and demanding a lot of grip from the car. And if you're running it trimmed out for the straight, that means a lot of grip from the tyres, something that the Nissan doesn't seem yet to quite have. Tsuchiya uses the power down the straight, picks up the draft, and outbrakes the Nissan. Doesn't seem on the twisty stuff to be too much wrong with the Nissan's chassis balance. And again here at Fuji, that is how strongly the yellow core McLaren is going. This is a 3-way battle for 3rd place. Well, the race leader still the number 1 car. Trouble in the pits though, they lose the lead. Wayne Gardner comes out in 1st place. 2nd place, Shiichi Yamaji and Seiji Ara's number 25 Toyota. And in 3rd place, the number 22 Nissan, Motoyama and Michael Krum. Well, the leaders, all 3 together. Now the 25 car in front, and number 1 on the march back up. As the Nissan has got past Gardner, the number 1 car behind him, and on the straight, look in the mirrors as the Toyota comes by in a straight line, and you can almost sense the frustration as Krum has his thumb on the radio button going, "Are you watching this? Did you see him come by?" Well, there's no question that the reigning champions have got a great car under them for Fuji. Team Tsurumo, effort, Takeuchi and Tachikawa pulling back despite a sloppy pit stop to retake the lead. And they fly on to their 2nd victory of the year. 2 wins at Fuji for Takeuchi and Tachikawa put them atop the sheets. Wins at Aida and Sepang for Furman and Matsuda leave them in 2nd.
The Japan GT Championship. The Japan GT with Nissan and Toyota. And PlayStation.